Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Okay. So, Sunday, altcoin stream. Ready, set, go. Now make sure to vote for your alts if you haven't done it yet. I shared the link in the chat. As people roll in, make sure to check out the link. And then after a couple of minutes, whenever, we are going to check which alts have been voted for the most. However, I do like to start with the total 3 chart. It is a chart that I get requested a lot in the comment section. And it will be very quick because it's actually a relatively easy chart as well. I start with this, then we're going to check the voting because usually in the beginning, it will take a while for the votes to come in as well. So make sure to vote. You have multiple choice options. Right, that's how we do, and then the top 5, top 10, usually I should say top 3, top 5 generally gets analyzed, and then we might use the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Mido, Christian, Abid, good to have you here. Finally on time. Adel, Seriga, welcome. Any trade in crypto? Yes. Absolutely. 008Z, welcome. Chris Magre, all in one. How you doing? Hello, Mr. Any Trading Crypto. Mr. Koens. Broadband, how you doing? Admin, what's up? So, this live stream, it's going to be an hour generally with the altcoin streams. It's very quick and, like alt. So it goes relatively quick. We generally stick around the higher time frames, daily, weekly. That is where in the end with those type of coins, usually most of the profits are being made anyway. And as we do these every week, it does not cost a lot of time to check the same charts as in a week. Generally not too much changes. So that is why usually in 1 hour we can generally go through 5 to 10 alts quite easy. Cause Flying Par, welcome. How you doing? 1 second here. Thank you. Okay, thanks, babe. Okay, getting some nice tea with mint, honey, ginger, and other stuff for my throat. Very nice. So yeah, the past couple of nights, holy moly, I slept really bad, and my throat today is not 100%. So I gotta watch out. So that's also a reason why a 1 hour stream will do. And usually we can analyze most of the alts anyway. So while you guys are voting, let's have a quick look at total 3, right? So here we have the chart. Now I'm actually not really interested in the chart from the very beginning. If we are looking for new all-time highs or a move towards the upside, we want to see if this is the low and if this is an impulsive structure to the upside. Now we hit the resistance. We had a monthly here. Monthly level on the monthly chart, 789 billion has been hit, and we got a rejection to the downside. Now, from a impulsive perspective, right, this is both a bear and a bullish count because you can see the ABC in here as well. 1 second, I gotta make this pretty. I haven't looked at this chart for a very long time. Now, the most bullish scenario is that this range here is a wave 4 matching your wave 2 here, right? So if we take a fib time, let's from the start to the end of 2 to the end of a potential 3 here, check the wave 4s, then we're still doing okay on time. We don't really want to move to the 5, so beginning September. So preferably before September, you are finished with this range. If we want to have the probabilities for a very bullish scenario, which means this is 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and another 5 to the upside, right? So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. You can even go into the lower time frames here as well, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? That's the most bullish scenario. But arguably, we have a finish 3, finish 4, so it doesn't really matter. 3, 4, and then we look for one more push to the upside. So your bullish scenario is going to be a new high anyway in both of the counts, which as it stands is the highest probability that you have on this chart as well, compared to the ABC. Now, with regards to the ABC, and actually I better just remove this, keep this one bullish. So with regards to an ABC, what you're then looking for is in C, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5-wave structure, preferably ending at the high here, and then move impulsively to the downside. Now, if we then go to the daily time frame, what lowers the probabilities for this scenario is twofold. First of all, price touched the 886 at the high. Now, the fact it has touched the 886 but did not take the high increases the probabilities that any move to the downside is corrective and not impulsive. So it increases the probabilities that all of this is corrective price action, wave 4 price action preferably, and we look for eventually another high towards the upside. So just the 886 by itself increases the probabilities that everything here is corrective. Second, this move to the downside looks very three-wavy, right? We can't count this as a nice impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where's our 4? You know, it's a very three-wavy structure to the downside where the 886 was hit as well. Very high retracement back to the range over here as well. So we can't count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Higher probability, this is a three-wave corrective structure, another range, arguably, possibly another three-wave corrective structure to wick the low here. The probabilities are also low that this is the end of your correction, and this is a wave 1 to the upside, this is a 2 and a wave 3. And the reason for that is once again the 886. So the 886 is hit, rare for 2, common for B or X, increasing the probabilities for that low to be taken. If we put some targets on the chart though, the safest one is from that low to this high. So there we go. So we are now looking for the green wave 4 in this case, right? This is your arguably most bearish bullish scenario because you look for one more push up in 5. Make sure to keep voting, by the way. I'm just doing this while people are coming in and voting. So the most common target area for your wave 4 is the 236 to the 05. Right, we had a bit of support on the 236, filled the 236, arguably therefore now the 382 to the 05 area is very interesting. We also have the previous range here, which is always an important area of support. So yeah, probabilities are on the side for price to take this low due to the 886 touch here as well. Potentially another 3-waver, hit support, hit the area of this range here. Then look for proof of support and price to move to the upside. The bullish count has higher probabilities unless price is going to move down and hits 427 billion. That would be a problem. Okay. So there you go. That is total 3. Now let me add the ones that are not in the list. Atom. Okay, let's have a look. Guys, you got to use Control F. All right. Who do I got to pay to vote for? What is the 3-wave or the 3? What is the 3-letter shortcut atom of Illuvium? Is it like so I can add it? Fa is not in the list, so let me add that one. Okay, ILV, I see. Okay, let's see what you have been up to. OP. ETH, Ton, Sol, Sui. I see. Guys, click on the link and first make sure to check if yours is in. Beam is already in, so there's no reason to mention it in the chat. BCH is not yet in, so that one is relevant, so I can add that, right? First use Control F, find your alt. If it's not in, then make sure to write it in the chat. Right? And I only want the 3-wave or the 3-letter the shortcut. So pixel, I need to know the 3 letters, and also make sure to first check the list to search for it. Okay, there we go. BCH is in. So I will not add pixel unless I have a 3-wave or a 3-letter word, right? I only want the 3 letters or the shortcuts, not always 3 letters like L, U, and C, but I need the shortcuts, you know. I will give it a few more minutes. I will add CRV as well because it's not in. Let's have a look here. I'm always surprised how you guys come up with all of these alts. One, I don't know, is one an alt, or is that a comment because it's in the list? So that's another comment that is of course irrelevant. No 3-letter for Pixel USDT. I see. So it's just Pixel then. I get it. Okay. Then we'll add Pixel as well. How to reset my vote? That is not possible, unfortunately. Only one vote, but multiple choice. Yo, guys, let me repeat it one last time. Click on the link, Control F your alt, vote for your alt, right? I do not do personal requests. Doge and AVAX, right? Doge is in the list. AVAX is, where is, it does say, why do I get a, and it's also in the list. So come on, focus, right? No need to write stuff in the chat, just vote. It won't help anyway if you write it in the chat. Only if you can't find it, write it in the chat. How could Elliott wave theory work? It's all psychology. So also on smaller cap it works. The question is it a very new coin or not? If it's too new, then you don't have enough price action to do a solid Elliott wave count. ETH BTC, by the way, I don't think that one's in. Okay, so 2 more minutes and then it is 20 past 2 Central European time, and then we're just gonna start. What's up? Maybe a band-aid. Mark, how are you doing? Good to have you two here. Welcome. So for the ones that just joined, I had a couple of very bad nights. My throat is not 100%. So it's going to be a stream till 3 p.m. But usually we go through the alts very quick because generally the same alts are requested. So it's very easy to analyze them because not too much changes on the higher time frame in a week time. So we're going to have a look. And generally we can do quite a lot in the remaining time. We just did total 3. So if you're interested, it's at the beginning. I get this one, like a lot of requests for total 3. So I decided to do that while everyone is voting. So if you are interested in a total 3, make sure to go back in the live stream just a little bit. Okay. When this one hits 20, we're going to start. Now that's some good tea, eh? It's nice to have something warm for the throat. Mint, Gember. I don't even know what the word in English is. Ginger, thank you. Mint, ginger. I'm actually not even sure if this one automatically Ah, there we go. Let's start. Refresh this one. See what's up. Okay, let's start with Ethereum. DXY. ETH. Okay, let's start with ETH then. Oh yeah, so it's actually good to see ETH moved to the downside. So the last time we analyzed ETH, price was here. ETH, we're going to be very short here actually, because on ETH, if you take a fib from the high to the low, there you go. Price has touched the 886. Any structure to that downside has a higher probability of being part of a corrective move, not impulsive, increasing the probabilities to still take out this high at a later stage. So in other words, on a weekly time frame, the probabilities for ETH are bullish. Now second, if we pull an 886 on the weekly, you can see that we've done the same here. We touched the 886 on a weekly time frame on ETH. Now it is quite common for price to move to the golden pocket after an 886 touch. You can see 886 hit towards the golden pocket. We actually just missed out on hitting it. There is the potential here for an ABC three-wave structure. I'll get to that in a second. But this is interesting support. More so because of the confluence, because we are now ranging inside the range of 2021-2022, the volume profile, value area high, point of control, value area low. You can see nicely respected, resistance, 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 moving all the way up, actually passing the value area high shortly. But we didn't yet retest the point of control. So it could be interesting, right? That this is very interesting support for sure, around that 2.6K on Ethereum. Definitely a level I like to keep an eye on. Now, with regards to the bearish scenario, in a bearish scenario, we're looking here for a double zigzaggy structure. I mean, it's quite difficult to have a solid bearish scenario on ETH compared to the bullish scenarios, which have a higher probability as long as they are not invalidated. But here we then have our W, our X, and a double zigzag, so a WXY. However, your wave C here is quite short. It didn't touch the 1-to-1 trend-based fib extension from the low to the high of A to the low of B. Low is the probabilities. This is a three-wave ABC, as the 1-to-1 is a common target. Anything below is rare. And then here we have ABC, which means we then need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, this 4 is starting to get quite big compared to your 2 here. So that is not ideal. So at the moment, the probabilities are simply higher for the bullish scenario, also reflected by the local price action, where we then have that double 1-2, and we are just in wave 4, highest probability, wave 4 price action. So, of course, most bullish would be another 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5 here, right? So you have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. But by all means, we're looking for price to move up on ETH. That's the highest probability, as explained more locally, because we touched the 886 at the high, right? Now, this move down, a lot of overlap. There is the potential, at least, for a bit of a diagonal as a bearish structure. ABC to the upside for the potential 5, 3, 5, right? So far, this move down is very much like a grinding structure. Let's see, 1, 2. It's quite a slow move. I would like to see it pick up. Now, the reason why locally the probabilities were higher to move down last week is because there was no real support here, right? Price moved up very quick, so it can also just fill this whole candle, and there's no structural support. I mean, the only structural support we've hit right now is over here, a bit of a support resistance area. You have a daily order block to the downside, and of course we know that to the downside here we have a golden pocket with a point of control. So yeah, but then again, high time frame probabilities remain higher to see upside on Ethereum. Yeah, stick around on the higher time frames here. Let's see. Okay, so the 382 is almost touched. Common target for wave 4. You also have the 0.5 in confluence with the previous range here. And in the 382 to 05 area, if price comes down there, that's a great area. Golden pocket, point of control, 382 to the 05, common target for wave 4. Support resistance area here as a flip. It still needs, of course, to first lose the monthly and move down. Now, of course, the probabilities increase for continuation to the upside if we come back up here again, right? So yeah, if we just do this, we touch this 886. So the 886 taken from this high to the low, increasing probabilities. Any move down is corrective, increasing probabilities to take all-time high. And locally, we also touch the 886, taken from the high to the low. So increases probabilities to take this high at some point, which increases probabilities to take that high. So yeah, it's quite easy. Okay, well, that's pretty much ETH there for you. I do need to actually write down the times, which I forgot. Also with regards to time, I think we started at like 20 minutes or something. Okay. Yo, maybe a band-aid, man. Cheers. Thanks for the gift and supporting the community and of course the channel. But yo, admin USA, make sure to fill in the Google Docs. I actually wonder, it's probably better to use the bit.ly link so that people actually know for sure it is a link generated. So it's probably better to use this one because it says Koen's membership form and doesn't look like a random link. So it's, I suppose, a bit less scam sensitive maybe in a way. Of course, you guys are mods, so I mean people should know that what you post here is absolutely valid. But yeah, make sure to either or, admin, click on the link, fill in your details, and I'm gonna bump you up to the silver membership. So you got a bronze gift, but I will bump you up to silver, so you can select silver in the questionnaire. Okay, so ETH, let's see, the next highest one is Sol. Go to the downside here, Sol. Confluences. Okay, so Solana, this range, we moved in, moved down, moved up, moved down. I'll keep it on the chin. No, I'll remove it. So we found resistance in the value area of the all-time high range, which is nice, right? Good resistance at the value area high, move down to the value area low, point of control almost back to the lows again here. We have some important support at 100, which is a level that we've been keeping an eye on. Now, the bullish scenario here is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. That is the most bullish one. Common target 23605. Preferably we move down a little bit further because we missed out on hitting the 236. A little bit of an order block as support. Previous range here as support as well. And as mentioned, the point of control of this range at 100, which is definitely interesting. And to the downside at the 05, we still have extra support, the blue box with another point of control at 56. Of course, that is a very deep move to the downside. So for price on Solana to go down that far, we would need a significant move down on Bitcoin. And even if Bitcoin would move to the mid-lower 50s, I do not see Solana go back to like 50 here. So I like the 100 level is very interesting. Let's say the price action of the previous range. So this is an interesting price area in confluence with the Elliott wave target as well for a wave 4. Now, arguably your bearish but still bullish scenario is that you have this 3, 4, 5. So that one is finished, and you're now looking at a blue 4 5. But in both cases, you look for price to move up, and now you actually have to take the fib from the lower low of the blue 2. So then you need price to move down a little bit further, right? So then the minimum target is 108. But the reason this has lower probabilities is because your wave 4 here is shorter in time than your wave 2, and most commonly a wave 4 is longer in time than a wave 2. So therefore, this is the one we keep an eye on Solana. The bearish scenario would be an ABC, a 3-waver, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either finished, right? That's most bearish, and then you look for 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, or one more high to create a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, one more high, and then move down. Now, if your C would be finished, we want to see impulsive structures to the downside, right? A 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 3-wave correction, impulsive continuation, and then a wave 3. So let's at least have a look here. Did we touch the 886? Yes, we did. Therefore, the probabilities are higher that all of this price action is corrective, increasing the probabilities to sooner or later take out the high. So in other words, the probabilities are higher here that we are looking at a sideways corrective structure. Doesn't even really matter what kind of structure, because the probabilities are higher, it is corrective anyway. Now the probabilities are low that this is the end of your corrective structure, like this low here, and you move up impulsively. First of all, this is a very clear 3-wave structure. Second, price move down, touch the 886, increasing the probabilities that this was not the low of a bigger sideways corrective structure. Instead, this is a 3-wave structure, which, I mean, we can pretty much see it's a 3-wave structure. And therefore, the probabilities are higher to continue ranging / take out that low. As always, after an 886 touch, price commonly likes to move towards that golden pocket, which is something that we have done. So we move back to the golden pocket, and yeah, then we just have to see what price does locally. But yeah, some very nice waves, and again, very clear picture on Solana. There you go. What's up, Bilyamin? How you doing? Welcome. Ada, next up. Such a good tea, man. Thanks, Bepe. Pleasure. No, very tasteful. Sola, where were we? Ada. I'm getting distracted by my tea. Okay, what do we have here? I'm actually not too sure when the last time is that we checked Cardano, but one thing that's nice to see is we rejected at the key level. I actually have no idea why this was a key level, because it's so long ago that we checked. Probably okay, I guess because of the weekly value area lows. On the weekly time frame, value area low key level, and on the monthly we hit it. Didn't close above. I see. Okay. I'll write this one down as well. We are 34. What's up, Dave Digital? Okay, so on ADA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Highest probability. This is an impulsive structure to the upside. It's also actually a very nice theoretical impulsive structure. If you would go to the book, volume up, down, but lower amount of volume in your wave 1, highest amount of volume in your wave 3, lower amount of volume in your wave 5. That is exactly what you're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks very solid. So on a monthly time frame, probabilities are higher. We are looking for a continuation to the upside. I have no idea why I have this red line on my chart, so I'm just gonna remove it. So okay, this is a bit of old analysis, which can be seen by the colors of the fibs. But we hit the 0.5, and the 0.5 is a common target for a wave 2. And we finished wave 2 after the 1-to-1 fib time, which is good as well. So let's just clean this up a little. Wait, let me just do this. Poof. Better. Also remove all of this, all messy. Okay. We can remove this. I love clean charts. So important support, of course, to the downside is this range, if price does decide to come down once more. But let's go to the weekly. Okay, so of course your most bullish scenario is you're done with your 2 and you continue. That's very rare. This is old analysis, so I quickly have to have a look here. Maybe. Of course, this is arguably your most bearish scenario. We're going to cover this in a bit more detail in a second, but ooh. Yeah, that's unlikely. So even for a bearish scenario, preferably we actually still look for a little bit higher. If we count 1, 2, and then eventually like a 5-wave structure, preferably this is not the end of your, even what I'm saying, even in a bearish scenario, preferably this is not your high. Because if we're looking for a 535, the common target area is going to be all the way down here, which is incredibly unlikely, as Bitcoin has to go for a crash, like crazy crash, and you're going to lose this important support as well, which is unlikely. Of course, the alternative bullish scenario, of course, is you're finished and you move towards the upside. Now this is simple A, B, and then a C. Okay. End of 2 confluences. So let's just zoom into the daily. Let's see what's up here. 3-day. It's been moving down, like quite insane, huh? On the Kunz emojis. What's up, Rostam? How you doing? From Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Currently 8:30 p.m. Here it is 2:40 p.m. now. We're behind on your schedule. Now, if we are bullish, we of course count this simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? No surprises. So let's see. Wave 4 did hit the 0.5, which is a common target for wave 4. So preferably this is your impulse. of course, that is your invalidation. Maybe I'll probably have to use log here. We touched the golden pocket. Always interesting. Golden pocket to the 786, common target area for wave 2, as well as a B, by the way, as well as an X. But if we count this as an impulse, this move up is either counted as a wave A or a wave 1. And you only really know the difference once you get a 3 or a C to the upside. But in both cases, you want to see the high taken. So with resistance, we hit the order block here because we hit the white box and we reject it. To the upside though, we have really nice resistance. It would be really good to hit that. Yeah. Just trying to see what the support areas are. Of course, you have here the previous range, which is where we are now. Important support, a golden pocket, a point of control. But I'm just checking what else is here because there's quite a gap here to the downside. So, right, like there's a bit of support here, but this is in the middle of a quick move up. But only if you go down to the 886 do you get back to structural support. So preferably you start holding on Cardano very soon. In other words, hopefully the low is going to be in very soon. Now this is, however, a clear bullish scenario. Nice. Yeah. Sorry for the you know the and stuff, but my throat is not 100%. Mentioned it only at the beginning, so I have to take it easy. Now we have a clear bullish structure to the upside. We're looking for either a wave C, wave A, or a wave 1. For a wave A or a wave 1, we've hit the common target area down here. It's a nice retracement. We are at the last bit of range here before we had this pump, so there's not too much structural support. Of course, arguably we have a bit of a support resistance level here, as you can see. So that would be like your final area of support, because if you lose this, yeah, you're gonna get like 786 is of course still a target, but the range here, I mean, you're at the 886. You don't want to hit the 886. So now with regards to a C, A, or 1, if this is a wave C, it can only be part of a flat, which means A, B, and then a wave C. Now, because wave C is quite extended, preferably your wave B moves to the extended pocket for an expanding flat, which is the 1.236 to the 1.38. This is your most common target area for a wave B, for then an A, B, and then a wave C, where wave C extends. But as you can see, price did not reach it. Instead, it moved to the regular flat target, the 0.9 to the 105, as you can see. And the target for a regular flat wave C is commonly between the 1 and the 1.236, which is of course a level that we've passed. Now wave C's can be quite long even for a regular flat, but it of course impacts probabilities that your wave B didn't hit the most common target area. Your wave C is extended, while for a regular flat preferably we ended it earlier. So it does increase the probabilities for an A or a 1, and therefore locally what I'd look for here is of course signs of strength, right? Reflected in CVD if you like to use it, market structure, volume. We are also below the value area low here. It's falling. Let's see here, this one. Yeah, that one's good. So what I would like to see for Solana, so probabilities are higher for an A or 1 at the moment, corrective structure down, and then look for price to continue to the upside. Golden pocket at the moment, previous range acting as support, a little bit of an SR to the downside. But to increase the confidence would be to flip the value area low here. So we have lost level after level after level. You can see it as well, right? Point of control, value area high, below point of control, retest point of control, value area low, broken. Now, quite easy, flip the value area low back into support. We look for price to move up to at least the point of control. So from an entry trading perspective, no financial advice, but that's the safest because you wait for price to show strength and then you act based on strength and of course whatever you like to use, right? So yeah, that is Cardano. Okay, let's see what else. So we did ETH, Sol, ADA. What is OP? I'm actually not even sure I have OP in here. What is the symbol? O. What's the best chart here? Coinbase? Oh, it looks quite similar to Cardano, no? So I guess this is OP. Looks like we got the start here. Move to the downside. Yeah, so yeah, with these coins, it's so far it's been higher highs, higher lows. So there's not too much info on a weekly time frame, at least. I also never had a look at this one yet. So let me add it to coin coverage. Shorter. Longer. So we can't count the diagonal here because wave 5 is not allowed to be longer than wave 3 in a diagonal. Unless you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, W, X, Y, corrective structure. So that this high is a corrective high, but that increases probabilities to still move up. So in other words, counting this as a diagonal is not possible. So either you're looking at a more bullish scenario where you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and eventually your continuation, you look for continuation up. Or of course we have a corrective top, higher probability, and all of this is corrective price action down to sooner or later still move up. Ooh, interesting. Point of control at 1.4. It's definitely a level of interest. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more downside actually still on OP. So from a corrective perspective, ABC, X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Y, double zigzag, hit the resistance or support. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. So, okay. And if we do this to that, oh, that's 2 dots from the high to the low. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. Probabilities are higher. This is a corrective move down, right? We can't count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 4 hit the 618, invalidates a wave 4. So probabilities are higher. You're looking at a corrective structure. Preferably in that case, we're then looking for, at the moment, double zigzag here. So we have an A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 extended 5 in your C, ending on a high amount of volume. W, higher probability this is a corrective low because you ended on high volume without making another low on lower volume for a 4-5 because 4 is too high, invalidating a wave 4. So therefore, preferably we look for X and then Y. But in that case, if this is your X, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be nice. Arguably 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So probabilities on the weekly are higher to still move up on OP, but more locally, it would be more attractive to see a bit more downside still into support. We have great support here, point of controls, monthly, weekly. We don't really want to lose this previous range and change the market structure, right? You don't want to move below this low. That wouldn't be too great. So preferably you're going to keep this market structure alive. And that's also what you can pretty much see what has happened, right? We've moved up, retraced to the previous range. Moved up, retraced to the previous range. Moved up, retracing to the previous range. So we are now once again at the previous range. So arguably anywhere in the previous range is attractive from a buying perspective as long as it's managed well. And of course it's swing trading, but we have a very clear invalidation, which is pretty much changing the market structure, which wouldn't be too great, of course. Quite sick percentages as well on this this thing here. So yeah, that's your OP. I kind of forgot when I started OP. I guess we started OP at like what, 48 or something. I have to put the timestamps in after the live stream. I mean, this is a spot chart. If you guys have a better chart, like we can be very easy with spot or with the chart on TON USDT. Look at the volume. Probabilities are higher for 1, 2, 3. Still working on ending 3, then get a 4 and then a 5. Highest probability for an impulse up. Clear 1, 2. Volume increase when you start your wave 3. There is no range so far yet mimicking the length in time of your wave 2. Normally wave 4 is longer in time than wave 2. So probabilities are higher. We are therefore looking for 1, 2 right? 1, 2, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish, look for a bigger range, and then one more move up at least for 5. That's your analysis on ton. Okay, there you go. So in other words, you just gotta wait for a range to form. So what you want to do is take a fib from the low to the current high that we have, toggle on your wave 4 target fibs, and just as price is moving up, just move the fibs to the upside as well. And then eventually you're gonna start a bigger range. And once the bigger sideways range is starting, that is when these fibs become interesting, because this is your support for 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Buying potential, look for 5 up. But we got to wait for price to eventually get that retracement. And so far it's moving up on volume. Actually, we of course made a new high on lower volume. So who knows, wave 4 might start soon. The thing is with a wave 3, it doesn't make any sense to try and find the top of a wave 3. It's incredibly stupid to short wave 3s. No financial advice. So the best thing to do is to wait for a bigger range to form, and that range will give new probabilities on ton. So yeah, and of course now you have a monthly level here as support as well. If price does move to the upside a little bit further as well, then you also of course have yourself an order block here. So yeah, this is important support on the chart, you know, this area here. So yeah, it's actually a very easy chart, but if you have not entered here, then you kind of missed the boat and you got to wait for a reaction. No financial advice, but you know, it makes most sense. Of course, trading is about finding great opportunities and risk to reward ratio setups. No FOMO, YOLO, or catching nice. And if it continues, it continues. Yeah. But from a Elliott wave trading point of view, you're literally at all-time highs. Yeah. So the best new setup would be for price to range in a wave 4, and then take the wave 4 setup, pretty much. Yeah. Link. Link is still flirting with the value area low here. Ah, yeah. Yeah, so probabilities on Link, what you can see, so generally are higher still for upside. The main question is, are we looking for a wave 2 here or a wave 4? Now, preferably for a wave 2, you actually still move lower. For a wave 4, this is fine. The reason the probabilities are higher, this is a wave 1 or a wave A, of course, by all means, is because if this is a wave C, it is, of course, an extended wave C. But then again, just like with the other coin we had earlier, your wave B did not reach the most common target for wave B in an expanding flat. So probabilities are higher. This is a wave 1 or A. In other words, we're looking for price to move up. Mind the second bullish scenario where this is a 3, 4, and 5. So arguably, we would first look for this because it's not yet invalidated. So in that case, you look for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 sideways complex price action 5. If you do move down and hit the 618, we switch and this becomes your highest probability. For a wave 2, you actually still want to move down in the common target area for a wave 2, which is the blue box. And for a wave 4, you're already at the common target area. Right? So, yeah. Now the probabilities are low that this low here is the end of your corrective structure. Price moved down, touched the 886, did not touch the 886. Very nice, Kun. I actually thought it hit the 886, I mean, it almost did. but officially it didn't. I'm actually curious if on some charts it did, from the low to the high. Yeah, okay, we didn't actually hit the 886. Lucky link, because the thing is, the moment you hit this 886, which it has almost done, the probabilities are high that this is not the end of a corrective structure and you're looking at a bigger range and arguably higher probabilities to take the low. Now, when we look at this move to the upside, we can see a very three-wavy structure. If we want to count this as an impulse, we need a wave 1, 2, right? Preferably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, but we never got this 4 and another 5 up. If this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 4 is very short compared to your 2. Most commonly, a wave 4 is longer than wave 2. So in other words, the probabilities are higher. Holy moly, water. The probabilities are higher that this is a corrective structure up, not an impulsive structure. So in other words, probabilities are higher. This is not the end of either your wave 4 or your wave 2, increasing the probabilities that all the price action here is still corrective. This increases the probabilities to continue ranging or look for the low one more time, at least one more time, of course, as we are looking for corrective structures. Yeah, the probabilities are higher to still move up as well. Highest amount of volume in the local trend down is in the low. So if we are counting this impulsive, preferably we wanted a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but your 4 went too high. So higher probability, we have a 3-waver here. We also touched the 0.7. So the 0.7 reduces probabilities for a double zigzag. It's not an invalidation, but it does reduce probabilities, as a double zigzag preferably is a WXY sharp structure where your X doesn't retrace too high. That is something that you preferably want to see in a sideways WXY. But because wave W arguably is then a zigzag, because it's not a flat, and wave W can only be a zigzag or a flat. Well, it's not a flat. If this is a W, X, then Y can either be a triangle or a flat. A flat at the moment looks unlikely. We would need to take this high, A, B, C, and then continue. A triangle is not common in Y. This as a wave A, 5-wave structure is unlikely. This as a 3-wave structure has higher probabilities. Counting A, B, C as a flat at the moment does not look like a great scenario. There is always the potential here for a triangle to form as well, a sideways structure, which would, of course, match the probabilities of sideways price action without actually taking the low in that case. Did we take this one? Yes. Did we hit this? We hit the high of this range. So this is a little bit of structural support, right, which is good. So yeah, that's so on link, probability is high to still look for upside. Probabilities are low. This is the end of your corrective structure. Probabilities are high that all this here is still corrective. We haven't yet started a bullish impulsive structure to the upside here. Increasing probabilities to either continue ranging or taking this low one more time. Yeah. Nice order block rejection, by the way. Yo, very nice. Now you almost gave it all back. Pump up, pump down. So, ooh, this of course is, by the way, a very important support resistance area. That would be great support, eh? Is that in confluence with the golden pockets? Yes. Well, it would be like luxury if price comes down there. But yeah, step by step. It looks a bit impulsive here on the lower time frame. Multi 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, and then you have a series of 4 5s, either finished on link. We took the low here. Of course, I don't really have a lot of confluences and extra support resistances with dailies and all that stuff. But the highest amount of volume is in this drop. So if this is a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you look for 3 and then a couple of 4 5s, the probabilities are higher to end this structure and look for a bit of a bounce to the upside. But if this is an impulsive structure down, if we do look WXY, we want to have an A, B, C. So you would still look for a B first before a C down. Yeah. And this doesn't look like a 5 waver in a 535. So if this is an impulsive move down, we are looking for a bit of a bounce. But if this is a 5 waver, which can be counted, it's not like 535. But a bit of a relief rally on link, price moving soon at least back up would be nice. Continue the range, but yeah, I mean, probabilities haven't really, they don't change with that lower time frame price action. So probabilities on link are higher to still move up. Okay. Bitcoin, bit of bearish CVDs here at resistance, already played out. Okay, everyone, we have done total 3 ETH, Sol, ADA, OP, Ton, and Link. Been online for a nice hour here. So, yeah, some good alt analysis. Due to the throat and some other activities, good to call it a day. I don't do personal requests, so if Manta is voted as one of the higher votes, then I happily do Manta. Personal requests are always paid requests because it takes time, unless it is community voted. So yeah, that being said, thanks for being here. So total 3 ETH, Sol, Cardano, OP, Ton, and Link. I'll make sure to put the timestamps in the video. If next week, depends a bit on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin at some live streams is doing absolutely nothing, then we can cover some more alts, which is generally what I tend to do now as well. If Bitcoin just goes sideways and nothing is happening, there's not much to update on, then I like to cover a couple of alts. So let's see what Bitcoin does upcoming week as well. But that being said, gonna take some care of my throat. So tonight will be a new Bitcoin update, right? And thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing, watching, voting, and I will see you at the next one again. Maybe a Band-Aid and Mark. Thanks for hanging out here.